Oi, oi, all you beautiful people out there. It's getting real with Cockney Buddha. Been a little bit since I put a podcast out, and I think you're going to like this one. It's all about presents. And I don't mean the ones you get at Christmas or your birthday. This one's a practice, guys, and you can make it happen. I'm also going to let you know how to use some of this stuff when you get in a little bit of an emergency situation. It can be done, guys. It's just using the tools. But to have those tools, you gotta be practicing. Practice makes perfect on this one. The more you do it, the better you get, the better you feel. So grab that cup of coffee. I've got myself a Rosie Lee here. And I've got a nice, lovely LinkTree. So join in, guys, turn up a little bit and let me take you into this great subject. Very, very large subject, actually. There's a simplicity to it, but people really overthink what presence actually is because we're so tied into the future and the past. We're always hanging around in those two areas, and the mind don't come to presence. And everybody that I work with, I teach meditation. I think it's very, very important. And by the way, just let you know on Sundays right now, especially this Sunday coming up as well. We can even talk about this if you want. If you want to come on there and someone bring up the subject, and we can sure go into this kind of subject. But Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, US, and at the moment, because our clocks went forward, but at the moment that will be 3 p.m. GMT time. So 11 a.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. GMT time on my YouTube channel. So go and check out my YouTube channel. If you go down in the description below my podcast, I've got my LinkTree right there. You can bang on that and you can get all my information. But come and join us. It doesn't cost you anything, even if you just want to sit in. I do a little breath work, sometimes meditation. It's been meditation more recently, but I'm changing things around a little bit, and then we have a chat and a discussion after about anything that comes up. Sometimes there could be anything, but it's normally around the mind, people asking questions and things like that. So come and bring this subject up. Come in there, join us, and building up a community in there. And I think it would really help a lot of people. So spread the word around, guys. 11 a.m. this Sunday. Not sure, was that 17th, is it? I think. Oh, St. Patrick's Day. There you go. And that's 4 p.m. on GMT time. So I would love to see you there. I really would. And you'll get some benefit out of it. So presence. It's a practice. It's something that you do, especially with meditation. And you build it up. Meditation isn't one of those things that, you do it one time and all of a sudden it's like, oh, great, fantastic. I mean, you will feel a difference. Don't get me wrong, because you'll be relaxed. But the more you practice that and the more you stay with it, you're going to be into a better mindset. But anyway, so the first thing I want to do before we get any deeper into the talk on presence, because this is going to come into one of those, you're going to know why we're doing this. One, to help us out to slow down a little bit right now, especially if we've had a bit of a bit of a naughty day or a bit of a naughty start of the week. We're getting into the middle of the week, and some things can start frustrating us, people we work with, or the job itself, or situations, or shit hitting a fan somewhere. This can help a little bit. But if you're driving, or you're using machinery, or you're doing anything that can cause you any harm, you might want to skip through this a little bit until we get to the next bit. But I want to bring this into it because yes, I think it's important. I think it can help right now at this very moment. Talking of presence, this is exactly what it is. So we're going to do some breaths, guys. We're going to do a little bit of breath work, and you'll hear me doing the breathing. But we're just going to do a little box breathing, just to get it going. If you don't know what box breathing is, a lot of people use a 4-4-4-4. I do a 5-5-5-5 because I like the fact that it's simple and easy. Think of 20, split it into 4, you got fives, right? So there's no thinking with it. Plus, it extends it out a little bit. So what you're doing, you just think of a box. So when you're breathing in, that's one side of the box. So you want to count to 5, and I'm going to talk you through it. So you're going to be counting. You're going to be counting to 5. We'll be counting to 5. And then we're going to suspend the breath for 5. I don't say hold the breath. Sometimes I do, I forget myself, but suspending the breath, it puts a bit of a lightness to it. So, and then we're going to suspend the breath for a 5, and then we're going to let that air out for a 5, and then we're going to suspend the breath again for 5. So it's a 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to do all the breaths are going to be done through your nose. And there's reasons for it. It increases the nitric oxide. There's a mechanism in the nose which increases the nitric oxide. And what that nitric oxide does, it allows the blood vessels to relax. So blood flows better. You get a better oxygen uptake. And basically it's going to start calming you down. The other thing is there's filters. It's got to go. If you breathe straight through your mouth, you're not filtering anything down into your lungs. You breathe through your nose. It's all full of filters. So you're putting this air through the filters because the air you breathe isn't exactly like brilliant, right? There's so many different other particles and everything that's going up your snitch right now that you don't even realise is going up there down into your lungs. Thank God we got a system that can grab hold of shit. That's the reason you breathe through your nose, right? So, you're gonna when you breathe through your nose and you're doing the nitric oxide, you're getting those filters in, it's adding moisture and a little bit of heat as it goes down your throat. And then it's because that's what the lungs like. And, if you're breathing, it's the reason why if you're ever out cold, breathe straight through your mouth, see what happens. You might start coughing, hit you in the back of the throat, bosh, right? That air goes through the system, through the nose for a reason. That's why we got a nose, right? So we can smell and bloody breathe. But so we're going to take. So remember, 5, 5, 5, 5, right? So we're going to take a breath in on a count of 5. So it's breathe in, suspend, and breathe out through the nose. Suspend. Breathe in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suspend. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 2, 3, 4, 5. Suspend. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just keep that going. Just keep that going for a little bit, guys. Just keep that going for a little bit. Calming the mind down. Calming the breath. Making it slow. Keep it with that 5. Don't rush it. Don't do a quick 5 count because that's going to do you no favors. Just slow it down a little bit. And then on this last round, just come back to presence and just see how you feel. Just tune into that. Become present with it. How you're feeling, how your body's feeling. Relax the body. Just have a little scan through. Think of your hands. What can you feel in your hands? Things like that. Just become present with the body. Just like becoming present with the breath. As you breathe in, you just concentrate on the air going through the nostrils and feeling it going up into your sinuses. Sometimes you can feel a little coolness behind the eyes, and then you can feel the coolness in the back of the throat. And as it goes down, you follow the breath. And if you have trouble, sometimes you can, if you take a tissue and damp it down, and then just dab it around your nostrils, and it will increase. It's like putting the air on steroids. It increases your presence to it, so you're able to focus more on that until you get used to it. And there's also a spot I pick out right between the nostrils and just above the top lip, right there in that little there's a name for it, obviously, but I don't know what it's called, the crevice thing, right? Just pick a pinhead spot right there, and you can start focusing on that area. Like just feeling the air going over the top lip. Even if you wet your top lip a little bit, and then just feel the air, and tune right into it, become completely present with it. And that's what we're going to, now you're being present. That's what presence is. And that's going to come up in a minute. But I wanted to just share a couple of stories that I have actually when I wondered what the heck was going on, to tell you the truth, because I was over in England visiting London, and I was down in my town, and I'm walking through my town, and at this one point, all of a sudden everything like slowed down. It was like things were going slow-mo. It was the strangest. I'd never had it before. I thought there was something going wrong. I mean, I'm one of these people that prove it to me first, right? So I'm thinking, hang on a minute, this is really weird. And I noticed that when I looked at people, I was noticing everything about them, what they look like, their fate, wrinkles, you name it. I was completely zoned in. And I'm walking up, I was with my mum, and I didn't say anything. And I'm walking up the street, and all of a sudden it seemed to just come back. And I didn't say anything. I don't remember saying anything. I don't think I did. Because it was a bit like, holy shit, I know I've just experienced something, but I got no fucking idea what that was. Honest to God, I was like a little bit taken back a little bit. Like, what on earth was that? And then when I got back home, I went to see my therapist Judith when I was going over into the office before the big C happened, and I remember saying, "Hey, listen, I've just said I don't know what the heck happened over there." Like what? And I'm already getting in. It was a little bit further into my journey, and I started to become more and more into meditation. I was more thinking about how things connect. I've been talking to my guru, which is Judith, my therapist, who's absolute freaking amazing, because I can bounce these ideas and go, what's this? And then we just start talking about it. And I still have experiences where I'm like, I don't know what this is. But I talked to her on this one session. She goes, "Oh, it sounds like you were kind of enlightened." And I'm like, "What?" And it's like presence on steroids. I had no thought. I remember it clearly, because I'm going to tell you another time when it happened, when I was actually knew what was going on. But I had no thought. There was no past thinking. There was no forward thinking. There was just straight up absolute presence with what was going on. And this can happen, guys. You can do, this is what I'm going to talk about, right? Things you can do it's a practice. But I thought, holy shit, right? So, you know, cool. So now all of a sudden, I want to turn that on. I want to, I want to switch to that shit. Beam me up, Scotty. Right? I'm like, how do I get that? Give me some more of that shit. Yeah, man. I'll have some of that. And I know it wasn't happening. It wasn't that, but it ain't gonna happen until you're ready for it. Because at that point, I was probably just way too excited, wanting more. And it's like, yeah, okay, matey, universe is saying, right? The old universe.
Okay, Steve, you need to slow down.
Right? So like, yeah. I thought, blimey, because that then sent me like, what is this going on here? It just pushed me to another level. And I think that's what the freaking universe does to us. It gives us these things, and it's like, yeah, have a little taste of that. See how you react with it. And then it's like, all right, well, we'll play it out a little bit. Oh, now you're ready for this bit. Because I'll tell you, I've had that going along with all this present stuff for a while. So the second time it happened to me was a little while on. It might have been, it wasn't even close to the first one. I think it might have been, I don't know, a couple of years or something. I can't remember. But we used to have this banging supermarket. Who remembers Lucky Supermarket over here? What a great supermarket. What the hell happened to Lucky's, man? Such a great supermarket. And it was, you know, it was very progressive. They had a bar in, and not that I drink. But when I did drink, I remember having a bleeding pint in there, in the soup, walking around. Brilliant. Blimey. And funny enough, in Lucky's once, I come face to face with this one woman had this pint, and I'm listening. I'm just standing around, you know, shopping, and I hear this British accent, like from my neck of the woods, and I turn around. She's got a pint, and I thought, oh, all right. So she goes, yeah, it's a bottle, and I thought, yeah, all right. Brilliant. So anyway, I mean, here I am in the supermarket. I'm in there with my wife. I even remember it was a Saturday morning. I'll tell you, when it happens, guys, you don't forget it. It was a Saturday morning, and I was going. My wife said, "Oh, go and grab some onions." I'm like, "Yeah, all right." So first thing what happened was I'm already in a good mood. I'm already like pretty good. You know, I'm definitely into all my meditation and everything at this point. I've been doing it for a while, and I can't remember if I was starting to get into cold work at this point. I know I was interested. I knew about Wim Hof, and I was starting to watch shit on Wim Hof and that. But it's been probably the past maybe 3-4 years that I've been more heavy into it. In fact, I've got my plungers turned up. I've got all my shit iced down. I've got my freezer. And I've got all my shit iced down, and all I'm going to do now is just put that thing together, and I will film it because I want to document it too, what's going on. But again, that's about presence, which I'm going to mention later on. That's another thing, ice bath later on. Anyway, so I go up to get one of the bags, and there's a lady coming from my left, and she went for the bag as well at the same time as I did. And you know, she looked like she just sucked on a sour plum. She had this face. She was like miserable. And of course I turned it around because, you know, as soon as you think someone's trying to get one on you, your anger starts going, right? Frustration. So I'm like, I joke about, and I'm like, you know, we both went for the bag, and da-da-da. And she just, I'm like, oh, what? And I felt my mood shift, and I thought, hell no, you ain't. No, that ain't going to happen. So I did the pity thing, and I turned it, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll pity her. She's having a right bad day. It can't be good being walking around with something on your mind like that or whatever. So I did the pity. All of a sudden, my anger went away, and that must have been a damn test. Because as soon as I went up to the damn onions, and I know this is going to sound freaking weird as shit, guys. I'm not pulling the wool over anybody's eyes here, or trying to, or blowing smoke up someone's ass. I'm telling you, when I experience something, I don't lie about it. I don't mind talking about it, because to me, this is all part of that mind work. And I grabbed it, and as I grabbed the onion, all of a sudden, all my senses came in. And I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. And I'm happy as shit. I thought, right, what's happening with you? No thinking again. And I look up, and I can, the sound, I can hear the sound clearly. I see colours. I can feel the onion, like I'm looking at it. And I'm becoming really focused on the shape and that. And I'm standing there just like completely present. And I walked up to my wife and I said, it's happening again. And she's like, what? And I said, I'm freaking present as shit right now. And I felt unbelievable. If they sold this shit in a freaking supplement, mate, I tell you what, as a supplement company would make a bank. I'm not even kidding you. It would make bank. But and I've also used this, which again is what I'm going to talk about. I use this in an airport when I was going into one a little bit, and somewhat tuned in so that I could work my anxiety in the airport when I was looking to go over to getting on a plane to go over to London, and tuned into the senses, and it's all part of that. But anyway, how to help this? How do you work towards this? And your first thing is, guys, meditation. I can't say that enough. That's why I say about that breath work as well, because you just basically meditate as well by bringing yourself to presence with your breath. So meditation. Insight Timer is a great app. I know there's others like Headspace, and there's a few of them out there, but I've always used Insight Timer. I've looked at a couple of others, but I've always gone back to it. Big shout to Insight Timer. Hey, give me some what do you call it? Promotion, right? I'm not looking for dough. Just put my name out there. And with that comes breath work. And when you do that's kind of like what we did. Box breathing is more of a breath work, but it's also, it crosses between the two, meditation and breath work. Meditation is when you're completely, there's all different kinds of meditation, but it's a little bit, with breath work you can do without meditating, even though it's meditative. And you can make it very meditative, because it's all part of. But, when I talk about breath work, like that box breathing, right? Or just taking in some nice, long, deep, relaxed breaths through the nose and filling the belly up with the air, just like when we did the box breathing. Fill the belly up, breathe through the nose, fill the belly up with the air. But just tuning into the breath and doing some breath work, and then do check-ins throughout your day. So if you set your watch up or something to kick off every hour, and it just means checking in with your breath, slowing your breath down, checking in with what with how you're feeling, what your emotions are doing. That's all being present and part of it. It starts to work towards that, being able to switch some things off. And I don't mean like a light switch, but you'll start to find yourself becoming more present, tuning in, because you want to make it a habit. You want to make it something that, it's like the way I used to study was, I know other people do it. I know my daughter does it like this. You could put a book in front of me and I could read it, but I do way better if I start writing this shit out. And I could write it out for word and I'll remember it better. And it's the same kind of thing with, doing this work. It's a practice. It's the reason why you ask any Buddhist monk, they say it's a practice. Even they will. So it's practice. Practicing the meditation, practicing the breath work, and being consistent with it. So having those, foundation meditation in the morning, 15 to 20 minutes in the morning. If you have to get up a little bit earlier to do it, do it. It's important. You won't forget your medication, so don't forget your meditation. Right? You won't forget your medication, so don't forget your meditation. That's great. I just actually thought about that. That kind of slipped off the tongue quite nicely. But But you wouldn't, would you? Right? So get up a little bit earlier and do, 15, 20 minutes and get yourself an app or sound or anything that can help you get into the meditation, and then the breath work throughout your day. And with the check-in times. So you're doing the check-in time, do the breath work with it, slowing everything down, and then, just checking in. There's a thing that I do with my guys which uses all the senses, and it means becoming all the senses, and it's all wrapped around eating an orange. I've done it with some of my guys. Some of my guys that listen to this podcast will know exactly what I'm talking about. And if anybody's interested, hey, freaking hit me up. We can get a session going, and right. If any of my guys are out there and they were interested in this, let me know. But it's you bring literally all your five senses into eating an orange, and you slow it all the way down. I've actually pulled myself out of a pretty good panic attack with a tangerine, believe it or not. Because again, it's another tool. I remember slowing my breath down, still kind of there. I went to music, couldn't find it, so I thought, grab the orange, grab the tangerine or anything like that, and grabbed that, and I actually stayed so present with it that as I peeled the skin off, because you listen to it and everything, you look at all the detail, you bring everything into it. And I remember even when I was like peeling it off, I was standing over where the disposal is, and as I was flicking bits of the orange peel down, I could see it rotating and hitting the sink and moving. You get to that point, and then that's it. That panic attack went away, gone. Bye bye. I win. Right. But what can you do in an emergency? Well, here we go. I mean, this goes back to that breath. That's the first thing I spoke of, was that slowing the shit down. Just think that, right? Slow the shit down, meaning your breath. Doing exactly what we did at the beginning, or near the beginning. That was at the beginning. Just slow it down. Get your mind on the breath, become completely present with it. Start slowing the shit down. And the one thing I will say to do is get yourself a little bit of like a card or something that you can fit in your bag or purse or whatever, and just write these little what I'm going to come up with now, these little bullet areas, because it's all your senses. And because sometimes we get into these moments and we can't even think straight. So we need little joggers or reminders. In fact, if you go to my website, Mind Nutrition for All, the number 4 all.com, there's a blog on there called SOS, and it's a way I used surfing analogy to use for a kind of like, you can write it on a card and you know what the SOS is. But so you get yourself a little card and just jot these things down so that you can pull it out if you're in a bit of a like, woof, right? I remember I was in a shop having a panic attack once, and the first thing I thought was like, okay, get present with what's inside, and that weren't doing it. So the next thing was get outside and get present out there, and that's what I did. But anyway, so right at the top of that card, slow shit down, breath, right? And then we go to all the senses: ears, eyes, nose, throat, touch. Ears, eyes, nose, throat, touch. Right? So with your ears, tune into sound. Tune into sound. And I don't mean labeling the sound. Just listen to the sound, where it's coming from. What ear is it in? Is it loud? Is it further away? Is it like, if you hear a bird, don't say bird. Listen to the tone and the pitch and whether you've heard that sound before. Does it resemble anything? And just tune into sound. That's for your ears. Your eyes, pick out colours, shapes, numbers. You could be in the car, right? And you might be having oh shit. Get into the looking, right? colors, shapes, numbers, maybe types of cars, how many, road signs you can see, anything. Just use your eyes, basically. Bring them into present with with where you're at. Then we got smell, yeah? Now with this, first of all, I went through a meditation. I think it was on the hypnosis actually. And what my therapist figured out in the beginning was what I like. And I love lavender, love the smell of lavender. So she got a bottle of lavender oil, and you can do this while you're meditating. She got a bottle of lavender oil, and I remember being out, and then I'd smell this lavender underneath my nose. And what you do is you're connecting that with the presence that you're in, which, once you've got yourself calmed down in meditation and you're breathing and you slow it all down, if you breathe the lavender, it's going to link it, right? So then you carry that in your pocket as a smell item, as a tool, right? Because it works. I've also got this little, it looks like one of those scent sticks, but you undo the bottom and it's got a little filter in it, and it looks like a Vicks. If you know what a Vicks stick is, when you got a cold for your sinuses, an inhaler thing that you can put in your nose and smell it, right? They actually also sell different scents of that. I've seen it on Amazon, but just do a Google search or something, right? And you can buy different scents, but you can buy the ones that you can reload. And all you do then is buy the little felt things, grab your own oils, because sometimes my scents change, right? Another good one with me is bergamot. Bergamot really works well with me. And when I looked it up, it's really good for anxiety. So lavender, bergamot, lemongrass, things like that. That you can load this thing and you can pull it out of your pocket, poof, start smelling, right? But get it to where, like, when you're in meditation or whatever, yeah, a little breath work, have that and keep doing it until you make that link. The mind will make the link. And then once you get to a point where you're like, okay, where's my scent thing? Bosh. It'll make that link and start your breathing down, slow your breathing down and stuff, right? Next thing is taste. Carry mints in your car, yeah, Tic Tacs, something like that, or those little round, I forget what they're called, icebreakers, are they called? They're like small, round, flat. They look like they don't look like a cap. They look like an aspirin kind of thing, right? That kind of shape. I've pulled myself out of panic in the car as a passenger. When things are just going haywire all around me. And I grabbed the mints and I stuck one on my tongue. Didn't chew it or anything like that. All you do is you become present with it. Now, I close my eyes on some of these ones because now you're getting into, you really want to know where you're at. And I started to tune into the saliva building up in my mouth, where I could feel the mint, what taste buds was involved, what my tongue was doing, where my teeth were, what my tongue was touching, where it was positioned, the taste of the mint, and then you just roll it around your mouth a little bit, right? Don't bite it, just roll it around your mouth and start letting that dissolve. Become completely present with what you're tasting. It works. I've done it. Right. Remember, I'm not one of these guys that's going to blow smoke up your ass. Right. I've used these methods, guys. I do it. Right. Which brings me to the next one. Touch. So carry a crystal or go and get yourself a rough stone of some kind. Even if you go out into the bloody yard and pick up a small rough stone or something that's got texture to it. My youngest daughter bought me it's called a worry stone, and it's flat, but there's like a groove in the middle, and I keep it in my pocket. And you can become present with the touch of the groove and that, and you can rub your thumb along it. I also carry crystals and stones, it works, because and then what you do is you can literally have your hand in your pocket and just hold that thing in your hand and just start rolling it, just rolling it around and just feeling the edges and becoming completely present with it. It's pulling your mind away from wherever your mind's going. Again, breath involved. With every single one of these, breath is involved. Slow the breath down first. Remember, slow the shit down. Get in with the breath first. That's the first thing to start getting in touch with and becoming present with, right? And the other thing I've got, which I wear every day, and it's not a fashion statement or anything like that, is my mala. If you wear any kind of necklace or anything like that, or wrist chain or something, even get yourself something that has texture or something that you can hold. My mala is really important to me because, one, it represents the journey that I'm on. It represents that, Buddhism, Hindu, etc., whatever other religions are involved with, with worry beads or a mala. And I've had to where I might be losing it a little bit and I'll grab my mala and all of a sudden it pulls me back into Dharma, the teachings, the knowing, the pulling you back into center. That, it represents what I've just talked about, presence. It represents all that. It's something that can shift by me just grabbing and holding my mala. And like I say, I wear it every day and I wear it everywhere I go. It's not something, yes, I like the fact that people will look and see that I'm that, that people know you're a peaceful person, hopefully, yes, there are wackos out there, don't matter where you are. It don't matter where you are, what religion or anything. There's nut jobs. There's always going to be those people pushing the boundaries of cultish, right? But to me, it means peace, humanity, love, caring, compassion, empathy, human is what it means to me. So, and the teachings of what I'm learning, the journey that I'm on, the things that I'm doing along the way, like these things that I just told you. And now I'm going into a little bit more of an advanced area, like I told you about the ice bath. So, I walk the walk. I walk the walk, I talk the talk. And my next thing, like I say, I've got the ice, I've got the tub, I've just got to build the tub. And then I want to start doing that. Am I a bit apprehensive with it? Yeah. Shit, man. I think if you wasn't a little bit apprehensive, there'd be something wrong with you, right? But it's about doing those things that, we know that's going to push us into that direction. To me, it's teaching, it's learning, it's finding out where I can take the mind. Where can I take it? What can I do now? If the mind is what it is, and I know all this studying and everything that I've done and research that I've done and work around it and that, I'm like, blimey, you really can take that control. And, one of the other things, getting to the ice bath, sorry, one of the things with that is, yes, I've been practicing along the way. I've been doing cold work, taking cold showers for quite a while now, doing the Wim Hof breath work on a daily basis. I might miss a couple of days here and there, but I do the Wim Hof work. This is all, and all those things before. The only thing I don't have to do is that setting my watch up, because I automatically do it now. Because you once you get into it, you'll start automatically checking in. And when I check in as well is when I'm starting to feel a little something. It's like, okay, what's going on? What's my mind doing? What's my emotions doing? I just check in. But the ice bath, yes, I know that's going to be the next step. I didn't want to piss bowl about with it either. I want to get that water down. So I've got like freaking 8-pound ice bricks that I froze, that I froze down. I think I've got like 4 of them. And I've got about, how many did I get? Did I get 9? I can't remember now. reusable ice packs as well, like quite sized ice packs. So it's going to be like fill the tub up, throw all the ice in it, get it freaking cold. And I've got a temperature as well, a temperature gauge that I'm going to throw in there. Of course, it's all Bluetooth, you know. We got to have the Cadillac. Can't just stick a thermometer in there. No, let's go for the one that tells my phone what temperature it's at. Jeez, right? But that's going to be one of those steps. And the other thing that I've been working out and working with now, you're going to think, yeah, this guy, he's lost his mind, is pain and, you know, discomfort and shit like that. I actually, what was it last night? Pierced my ear last night with a needle, but it was a matter of, it isn't about the act. It's about tuning into the mind and what's going on with the mind. Because, you know, I started reading reports about and seeing things on TV, how you can control this switch when it comes to the discomfort and pain, and how and it takes a lot for sure, because yes, the mind wants to automatically tell you something, right? But there's also been reports out there, and I don't doubt it because people have obviously bloody seen it, but there's been people that have gone under surgery as well where they've just meditated and controlled their mind. And when I hear things like that, I'm like, holy shit. Because, you know, old Steve would have been like, yeah, it's something behind that, bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit, right? Right? But you know what? It's being done. It's being done. It's like Wim Hof when they injected him with, I can't remember what it was, a virus, and he controlled it. He didn't get sick. And then they said, well, you're an anomaly. And he goes, well, all right, well, just give me some people. I'll teach them how to do it in a short span of time, and you can do it to them. And it did. They did. I mean, there's no bullshit about it. There's no question. You can't question that. You can't question that. And Sadhguru, they wanted to test him out, and they had him come up to, I can't remember what the university was, but they had him come up to a medical university, and they attached him to all these monitors and shit, and they said, okay, start meditating. And he did. And he said after a short period of time, he could feel people like poking him and prodding him and thinking, you know, and he's thinking, oh, it's just part of the test, I guess. And in the end, he's like, what the heck? And he opened his eyes and they're like, oh, thank God. And he's like, what? They said all the monitors wasn't showing you as alive. So you tell me, if you can walk away and call bullshit, then I'm calling bullshit on. Here's my card, because I think you need to tune in a little bit on yourself. This is happening, and I want to know how to do it. And then when I know how to do it, I can teach it. And I'm telling you, that's you might think I'm a bit nuts, you know, grabbing a needle, and it ain't the first time I've done it. I've done it before. And this time was even easier. It was crazy. And I was even going to put a stud in it. I thought, I'll put a stud in it. And I went out to my oldest daughter and I said, here, you got a stud? She's like, what you done? What you doing? And I had like a red bead off the head of the pin. And I said, oh, it pissed me in. She's like, you did what? And I said, yeah, I'm tuning into me. She knows how I am. So she just kind of grinned and chuckled. And I'm like, I need, have you got a stud or something? So she's got this stud. She goes, yeah, but look, it's quite big there. And I'm like, yeah, just put it in. And she's like, well, I'm going to have to push it through. I'm like, yeah, all right. Boom. Good to go. I took it out because it looked like shit. So I took it out. But guess what? It didn't bleed or nothing. Nothing. I didn't hardly even feel anything. Because I kept switching my mind away. It takes practice. I'm not completely there yet. But it's been done. And I want to know why. I want to know how. Not why. How. When these people are doing it, I want to get into their mind. What's that? How are you doing that? How are you doing that? So tune in, guys. Yeah? Take those moments for self. Remember to practice the tools. Use your tools, practice your tools, and I tell you, become a better craftsman, right? Go and check out my LinkTree, please, and connect with all my other areas that I am out there on social media, especially my YouTube channel and my podcast on here. If you give the old 5 stars if you like it, that'll be a blinder, please. And go and check out my YouTube channel, yeah? And give a like and subscribe, and you're going to help me out, and you're going to help a lot of other people out that you might not even realise you're helping. It just has to land under the right noses of somebody that might be feeling it a little bit, and you could be shifting them as well. Thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Keep showing me that support, and it keeps me going on doing this. You can take the upper hand on this, guys. You can win. Practice, practice, practice. Thanks for listening, guys.